Hey Shooby-Doodlers, how are you doing? I'm going to do another, well, it's not really a random drawing because I've been thinking about it. Yesterday I didn't know what to do and I was talking to ChatGPT, a GPT-S which I had set up to kind of provoke me and it said, stop faffing about and just do something. And it said, don't keep trying to do stuff that you've done all your life, that you've kind of done and you've moved on and there's no point going back. Do something different. And it said, just get a piece of paper and just start drawing and see what happens. And that's what I did. You can click up here and see what I did. And it said, do this for 30 days. Do it for 100 days. See what happens. So yesterday, I drew a picture of Benny, who's a little character I devised for a book a while back. And I thought, well, I can just keep using him. And so this is Benny, and he's kind of looking up this time, so his ears will be slightly different and something like that. So we want him looking up, being slightly quizzical. I'm going to give him let's give him a shirt today, and he usually wears a jumper, so he's kind of he's right down at the bottom of the page, so I've got to fill all this stuff as well with something. That's a kind of a decision I'd sort of made subconsciously there. So thinking down there. So what is this going to be all about? It's going to be all about the inverse square law. So what is this drawing going to be about? It's going to be about the inverse square law. Yeah, I know. Go with me here. So I'm going to draw a sort of line coming out here. So this is all about putting your thoughts out to the universe. Okay, you've heard this phrase many times, I'm sure. Put it out there to the universe. But I want you to see quite how hard it is for the universe to hear you. So imagine these are little beams of thought. So this is the energy from Benny's brain, and he's thinking, I don't know, what does he want? He's thinking, I wish I had a new car or something like that. And as the energy goes out, it's actually sort of coming from inside his brain, isn't it? So if we take like a square of this energy and imagine it's coming out, so there's going to be another kind of line coming out sort of about there. And this is a ray, like a ray gun kind of thing, blasting out to the universe. So this is like a little packet of energy, a packet of thought blasting out there. In fact, it's radiating out all around. Okay, so it's I don't know if you can direct your thoughts, because if you direct your thoughts to the universe, then the universe is all around you, isn't it? So you really need to be spreading it out. But anyway, imagine that you're focusing, even if you're focusing on a little part of the universe, and say, here, please listen to me. So you send this packet of energy out, and it's going out. Then at some point, so I'm going to get a quick little piece of paper here, 343, that was my hotel room the other day. So if we do that, and we want that then to be roughly halfway, so we want that same angle, so it's going to be about there, isn't it? Yeah. So then if we then draw it a few seconds later, okay, or milliseconds later, because it's traveling out, then you can see something has happened to this packet of energy. It has spread out. And in fact, if you do something like that and like that, that shape there is equivalent to one of those. So you've got four of those to where there used to be one of those. So this is actually one squared, and this is 2 squared and 2 squared is 4. Okay, so if you sort of go the same distance again, I'll run out of the paper anyway, so it's going to start becoming more like 3. So because when you get to the next distance, it becomes 3 squared, which is 9. It's the inverse square law. So what has happened is that your packet of energy has zoomed out to that point there. Are you with me? And it is dissipated, so there's only a quarter of the amount of energy going out into the universe. When you get to that point, there's only 1/9 of what it was. So by the time it gets out to whoever or whatever is receiving this message, it's just barely significant. So when they say put it out there to the universe, you can't just think ding thought. It's got to keep going. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep pushing that out. And it's not just that there is this one single beam going out there. It's radiating out from every point of view. So it's going in a 360-degree sphere all the way around. So that little bit of energy that you're starting with has got to really blast it out there. I think that the secret is to keep pushing out those beams. So this is, I bet this isn't what you expected, is it? So perhaps we ought to have sort of Benny on the edge of the planet like that, and some stars. So why did you come to watch this video? Some people just come for the watercolouring. I think probably the reality is that I am Benny, aren't I? And he's kind of my avatar. I said yesterday how I'd sort of rediscovered him by giving somebody my business card, which is a little bit out of date, but Benny is on my business card, and I was rather oh no, that's not right, hang on. And I went, oh. And interestingly, so after I finished the video yesterday, I thought, well, I'll go and tell ChatGPT, look, this is what I did. And it said, nice picture, pretty picture, it said. It said, but what was probably the most interesting thing, because I went and then downloaded the text of the video and put that into ChatGPT. There should be more hard edge. Anyway, so I put the text into ChatGPT. It said what was most interesting was that when I had shown my business card and I'd gone, oh, Benny, it said that's the first time you connected with something. Everything you'd said before was, oh, I don't want to do this, don't want to do that, don't want to, and oh, suddenly there was sort of an emotion connection. So I thought, well, that's interesting, I'll go with that. And it said, you're not really doing drawing videos, are you? It's more, it's more like philosophy, really. So I thought, well, I'll go with that. So and oh, that's a strange shirt. I'm just choosing colours at random. He's probably going to have, oh, I'll give him a horrid green jumper. He's probably got really bad taste in jumpers. Oh yeah, that's like lime green. You buy jumpers sometimes, don't you? Because they're at a good price. We went to China and Japan recently, and in Japan we went into the Uniqlo store, and Mrs. Rayner went crazy because the prices there are literally a third to what they are here. And I went mildly crazy because I bought some things which I would never normally buy, but because they were so cheap, I thought, well, I could give it a whirl, try them out, and I quite like them. They're supposed to be cotton, but they felt like polyester. don't know, maybe they found a new way of weaving cotton or something. But they're really nice. They're sort of just sweatshirts and things like that, but I don't know what's happened recently, just sort of light summer cotton jumpers, sweaters, maybe you call them sweaters. They've become really kind of heavy recently. You can't get a light one. These are first world problems, aren't they? So anyway, but sometimes you see things and they are so cheap. Oh, but there's a reason why they're going cheap. But then again, a couple of weeks ago we went to Nottingham and we're looking around Marks and Spencer's, which is like a clothes store here, and they were having a sale on, so I'll have a look through the sale racks just in case. I always keep an eye out just to see if there happens to be cashmere. And this is my vice, I think, is cashmere sweaters. When I first came across a cashmere sweater, I couldn't believe it. I think it was the it was the poet Tony Mitten. We were at a children's conference together, something or other. I can't remember why, but anyway, I went to touch him on his shoulder or something. Just, hey Tony, something like that. And I thought, whoa, his jumper is so soft. I couldn't believe it was so soft. I should have had a different colour for his trousers. If I can just change that to something more. Because he'll be standing on the blue sea, won't he? So he needs to stand out a little bit. This is really a first draft, isn't it, of what could be. So Tony met, yeah. So oh, his jumper is so soft, and then one day I twigged, oh, that was cashmere. Oh, you can. And so I asked for a cashmere jumper for Christmas, and they're so soft and they're so warm, friendly, very warm and friendly. So you can wear quite a light jumper and it's as warm as anything else. What am I going on about cashmere jumpers? Yes, because he's got. Yes. So anyway, I got to Marks and Spencer's, and I was looking through the racks, and there was a cashmere jumper in my size, in a very, very pale dove grey. I thought, oh, I'll wear that and it'll be filthy in a day. Because I'll then do some woodwork in it. And it was half price. So I thought, well, I'll go and try it on, and it was just so lovely. I thought, well, I'm going to have that. But I promised myself that it would just be for special, so as soon as I got home, I folded it up, put it away in a drawer. Now, what we need to do here is we need an energy colour, so I'm going to colour that energy there. Perhaps it ought to be a little bit stronger. Oops. Like that. But then we need to we need to quarter the intensity of the colour, don't we, here? So this needs to be quite pale, because it's not so much energy. It's been quartered, isn't it? And then again, when we come up to here, it needs to be even thinner, really. So. And I had a thought, a revelation just recently. I suppose this is the philosophy side about grace. Now, when I was at school, they don't do it anymore, I don't suppose. We used to say grace. Probably at posh private schools, they still do grace at beginning of end of meals. And the basic grace would be for what we are about to receive. May the Lord make us truly thankful, or what we have just received. And it dawned on me that, why is it called grace? because it's not. It's gratitude, isn't it? And and in the Christian tradition, there are prayers about the grace of God coming down. And so, in fact, these are kind of gratitude beams, and what you're hoping for is the grace to come back down and bestow what it is that you want. This is not grace. Grace is what comes back. This energy is gratitude. Actually, gratitude is the fuel you have to add to your big ask. So when you say, I need a car, that's not enough. It's the gratitude you have to. Gratitude is that emotion that you keep piling into the request. So you only have to ask once, but you got to keep piling in the gratitude. You've got to keep. Gratitude isn't groveling. It's this energy that is pushing the question on and keeping the intensity going. That's all a bit heavy, isn't it? Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed and keep coming back for lots more of this stuff. I'll see you tomorrow and let's see what happens then. You take care now. Bye bye.